Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of interplanetary ice spy going on here. Back to Mars, back to Gale Crater, and we are looking at what seems to be another shipwreck. Now, when I say another shipwreck, it's actually one I spotted about 2.5, 3 years ago. Yeah, it's about 2.5 years ago. I posted a video called Water Shipwreck, an Alien Building Complex on Mars. Now, this was one I posted back in 2015 and shows the same area on this ridgeline at the back of the lake area here and near the bottom of Mount Sharp, and we have this ridgeline and this very bright long object here. There are actually other ones in here as well, but they're much smaller and harder to see. But this is straight on. We're looking at it here, perpendicular to it. We're looking straight at it, and I'll let that play through a little bit before I show you this. And I'm hoping the sound card's going to be right here, because I've been having a lot of trouble with my sound card, and it doesn't like me recording playback on some of these videos very well. But there it is. Okay, now you can check this video out. I'll stop that. You can check this video out, and I'll have a link to all these things at the end, either at the end of the video, on the cards at the end, so you can click straight on these videos, or as with the images I always do, I will have a link to the raw image here below, and also the GigaPan by Neville T here, and another great GigaPan by Neville Thompson. This is the same thing. Now, if you compare it, this is the raw image, which came out only a few days back. This was published. Neville T was straight on the case and made a GigaPan of this area straight away, as he always does, which is amazing. He's always on the ball with these things. But when I zoom in and out of these things and play back some of this stuff, it may interfere with the audio that I'm recording now. So I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to let you do that. You can zoom into that and have a proper look at it. It doesn't get a huge amount of detail, because of course it's only like a 1.6 or 7 megapixel camera, and the images are downgraded. And this is a long way off. Now, this is actually taken from an effective distance of around about 1 kilometre or just a bit less maybe. But the actual rover, when it took this photograph, was around 3 kilometres away, but it zoomed right in. So it zoomed in to effective view range of about 1 kilometre, maybe 800 metres or something like that. I don't know exactly. But it's quite a way off. It doesn't look that far away, but it's a way off. So this is really large, and you can see it here from the side. This is the side view of it, and you can see this front, very bright yellowy colour front there, quite reflective. That's been enhanced. I'm going to let this play through a little bit, but I'm going to stop talking when this goes, because it may crackle a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit of that for you, just to give you a taster. This gives you a different viewpoint of it. There we are, up at the top here. So this was taken from years back, and the rover was further back along this area, and now it's moved along quite some distance. Not that far, actually, probably only about 1 kilometre or so in the last 2 years. Not very far. It hasn't moved very far. But this is the same shipwreck. So, without further ado, there's the GigaPan, the links below for that. Here's the raw image, links below for that. There'll be a link for this. This is my video of it from 2.5 years ago. There's also this other video, which is much further around and earlier on in the Mars mission, the Curiosity Rover mission. I uploaded this in 2014. This is a big wrecked boat which has a number plate on the front. Mars riverboat with number plate. Now, I say riverboat, this is actually more like a ship. I'll just let it enhance a bit so you can see a close-up coming up. And when it gets close, you can actually see the number plate on the front. Raw image, okay? 29.S. 29S. 29.S. Or something, so that could be an 8, or, you know, it looks like an S. And when you zoom in, it looks like an S. I mean, you're going to have to watch the video for any more details on that. And as always, there's plenty of links and stuff in the description, and more details there to be found, okay? I just thought I'd throw that in. So that's in my playlist called Mars Boats and Shipwrecks, which I put together a while ago. There's about 30 of these. Some of them are really large. Some of them are very wrecked. This one was a bit closer up, so we actually got some detail on this one. This one's a bit further back, but it's way, way bigger, which is, I don't know how long this is, but this is hundreds of feet long. And this is the same thing, but we're seeing it from the side angle, so we're not seeing it in its full length. This is the back, that's the front. If I show you that one again, there's the front there, and there's the back. So the rover's gone all the way over to the right here, and it's driven another 1.5 or so kilometres along this way here, not towards it, but adjacent to it. And now we're looking at it from this view. Okay, there it is. Let's see it in there. There it is. So we're seeing it from the back end. If this is the back here, we're sort of nearer the back, looking across at it. And it's kind of pointing away from us, the front of the boat here, or ship, wreck. That's the front end, I think. And it's pointing that way. Of course, it could be the other way around. I don't know which way it pointed, but that seems like the front to me. So let's have a look at the folder I've got here, and I'll show you some enhancements. Here's a raw clip. Let me show the raw image first. That's it. But it's pretty vague and a bit muddy. And there's this horrible line going up through here, which is on all the images. And it's a bit vague and muddy. So you really had to get this into your Photoshop or whatever you've got and enhance it a bit. What I tend to do is color correct it. I first of all take a clip a bit further back, like this one, and then I select round it and then use one-step photo fix or something like that. That's a bit harsh sometimes, but it really shows the brightness of the object. Let's go back and even in the raw image, this is way brighter than all the other stuff around it. This is a metallic object, judging by the luminosity, and it really is quite bright. And for it to show up that bright in this muddy, crappy image, it is very bright indeed, believe me. This is not a rock. And I'm going to flick through now. There's a closer clip, raw. Enhance the whole image there. It's all very blue, but you can see the hull shape here. And when you zoom in a bit, you can actually see some detail here. Now it's very choppy, I understand that. You zoom in too far, it doesn't look great. So let's go to the next image. Sometimes you've got to do a few enhancements to try and look at it in a different way. If you go in too harsh, sometimes it makes it worse. The image starts to break up, as it's done here. But you can see what look like some pipes and stuff on top of it here, and some kind of structure here, and there are parts to it coming off here, and it kind of goes back here, and it's kind of, I think actually it goes all the way back to here. But we've got sand and crap sort of blown up against it. It's partially buried, it's wrecked and ruined, of course, and unfortunately the image quality isn't great. It looks kind of better in black and white here. And I've gone really dark there. You can see there are structures in here, okay? I don't think this is just a rock. I've been looking at this for years now, from multiple angles now, and it is blatantly a wrecked ship of some sort at the bottom of Mount Sharp, which was once a lake. And I do think this area actually was some kind of dock area, like a marina of some sort. So there we are. That's it. I will put more clips in at the end of the video, so you can have a proper look at this, and I'll show you them for longer, so you can pause and take an image, screen grab or whatever if you want to do that, and have a look at it closely. So I'll do that at the end, as usual. But there was one or two other things in this folder. Let's get rid of that a minute. There was this post that someone put up on Facebook just the other day of this. Now this is in Martian Genesis, which is Martin Graney's Facebook group, which is great. And Lányi Gábor put this post up. Now I'm not sure if he found this. I did actually see this in a video clip that someone had compiled of Mars objects the other day. So I'm not sure whether he actually found this, but I will give credit to Lányi anyway, because he brought my attention to it. So fair play to him. And this is really cool. This looks like some kind of propeller or prop, either from an engine or from a boat or an aeroplane or something like that. Really cool. And you can actually see the prop here and propellers. Okay. And I did some enhancements, but they're not much better than that. He's done a good job here. He's done just a simple colour correction and enhanced the contrast probably, or something like that. Wow, I was pretty impressed with that. And he's got there are people posting images underneath here which give you an idea of what we're looking at. Okay, look at that. Look at the similarities. Awesome. So I've got it in my folder here. So I've got my enhancements are no better because I only do basic enhancements really. Let me show you the clips I've got here very quickly. This is from the GigaPan. There will be a link to the GigaPan where this comes from, so you can check it out. That is a raw clip from the GigaPan, and that is an enhanced clip. There we are. And you can see it's attached to this central point here, and what looks very similar to that propeller prop that we were looking at a minute ago. Awesome, absolutely awesome. There it's further back, a bit clearer I think, further back. There it is, there's another clip. Okay, so there was that. So that kind of confirms what we're finding here, wreckage. And here's some GigaPan clips of the shipwreck. Now bear in mind that we're seeing it from the back end, so this is way longer. It should be like twice as long, 2 or 3 times this length. But because we're seeing it from the back angle, we're seeing it not in its full glory here. But you can make out some detail. This is from the GigaPan. Let me show you another one of these clips up here. I don't know which one is the best one to look at. I think actually the negative, let's go back to there and go a bit smaller. There we are. And you can see the edge of the ship here quite clearly. There's an edge going all the way along, and there are parts coming across like this. There are some interesting details here, especially here. There's some kind of structure here. Now, of course, this is a long way off, and they've downgraded the image so that it's not very clear, but it's big enough and ugly enough to show up, even if it is a bit choppy. And we may even get some more shots of it coming up in the next few days if the rover takes some shots again from that perspective, or a bit further along. Hopefully we'll get some more angles on it, and we may see an even closer shot of it. And if there is anyone there at NASA listening, I know some of you do, let's have a close-up of this area, please. Let's zoom a bit further in. It's all very well zooming up to about a kilometre distance view range, but let's get in a bit closer. Let's go right in, shall we? Let's see this nice and closely for once and really determine what it is. I know you guys have been pointing your laser at it and taking measurements and using the cam to take images of this area, which I've shown before. And I'm pretty sure this is metallic, and I think you know it as well, because if you've used the light spectrometer on the rover to measure the light readings you're getting back from that laser, then it would be fairly obvious that this is metallic and not some kind of mineral rock deposit. So I'm pretty sure of that. They've been looking at this area for years now, and so have I, from the start, as many of you have, and been following the Curiosity as it's been slowly trundling along, taking photographs of everything and ignoring all the really interesting stuff. So there we go. I mean, this is the best shot we've had of it for a while, at least, I'd say. So yeah, credit to Lányi for putting this on the page here for me to have a look at. As I said, I'm not sure if he discovered it. I think I saw it in a video clip on another site that someone had uploaded to YouTube. So, but a great find this. I think it's one of the best finds in a long time, this one. It's not very big. I'd say it's probably only about 12 inches across, maybe a bit less, this circular part here. It could only be 5 or 10, don't know. It's not big. But a lot of the things we're seeing on Mars are very small, as I always say. This is very large, but it's a long way off. Let me zoom back. Now, this may crackle a little bit because of my sound card issues. I'm going to zoom back and give you an idea. This is basically about, I'd say, according to other recent images taken of this area, taken from an effective view range of about 1 kilometre-ish, or perhaps a bit less, could be 600 metres even. I can't tell you exactly, but it's something like that. So this is very large, it's just a long way off, and there are other things in this area along here as well, which are well worth looking at. And I don't think all this is just mineral deposits. And when you look at the ground here, you've got like a grid in the ground, so there are buried structures here as well. Some of these structures, you've got lateral lines and other lines coming across. It's not that obvious here, but when you start looking at this from above as well, there's loads of weird kind of rectangular buried structures all over this area. So plenty of intelligent structures to see on Mars, and this is a good example of one. There's also that dome thing with some weird structure here, which is interesting. I do think there is something there. Some people have said that the video I did about that dome with entrance is fake. It's not fake. I was merely showing some of the hidden structures in the image. Now, I may have pushed it quite hard, but actually they are there. And you can see them even in the raw image like we have here. You can zoom into there, and there's something there, which I showed in that video. And of course, from this angle, you're seeing a different aspect of it. There's definitely something there. And this is that big dome-like structure here. And it's definitely something. And you can also see it in the GigaPan here. Let's zoom in. This may crackle a little bit, so I do apologise in advance. If it lets me zoom in. Yeah, there's something here, but it's a bit kind of blurred out. But there's definitely something there. There's a structure which I showed in that video called, one of my top hitting videos, Mars Dome Entrance. Okay, that's the video. I'll put a link to it actually at the end, and you can make your own mind up. I may have pushed the image quite hard and enhanced it a bit too much. And we may have been seeing kind of artifacts in the image that were sharpened up, but there's definitely something here. And there's stuff all along this ridgeline anyway, even if that isn't. I'm pretty sure there's a structure there. There's a shipwreck here. There's this interesting structure here. What the hell's that? There's stuff along here. This weird kind of ramp here. Look at that perfect ramp there. Is that natural? Don't think so. I'll put a link to the video at the end showing this, a close-up of this, which was taken by the cam. Unfortunately, they cropped the top off here. They should have taken some photographs further up so we could see the rest of it. But this is a really cool structure, this thing here. And I did a video about it a while ago, and it's in this playlist somewhere. There it is. NASA shoot laser at saucer object on Mars. Now, that thing there is actually that slope that I showed you. Sorry, this here. It's kind of a saucer-shaped, kind of dome-shaped structure, which looks a bit like a kind of parked UFO or something. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it's shaped like that, like a ship. And that's it. So I'll put a link to that as well. So I've already covered a lot of this stuff before from other angles. I'm just doing a kind of update today. And these structures are really interesting, and I'm hoping, if anyone there at the Mars rover team is listening, please give us some real nice close-ups of this, because this stuff's been shown in my videos for years and years now, and people thought it was a crackpot for even saying it two or 3 years ago when I started finding all these ships and boats. But they're there, they're definitely there, and today we have another angle. So it just goes to show, if you persevere and you've done your research, that if you're patient, better and closer images will come, and other angles will come along, just to confirm what I've been saying for the last few years. So there we have it, really. I hope the audio was all right for that. I may have to cut some of that out. I do have problems with my sound card when I play bits of video. This is a Windows 10 issue, which I cannot get sorted out. My computer died on me a few months back, and I had to get it fixed, and then I had to put Windows 10 on here. Ever since then, the sound doesn't work properly, and I can't listen to stuff properly on here. I have to use my mobile phone or my other computer. Nightmare. So I do apologise if there's any crackly noises, but I will be putting a backing track sound behind my voice anyway, which I normally do, just to cover up the sound of the fan and any other sort of weird noises you might hear, like cars going past or whatever. So there we have it. Sol 1889. Yeah, so there we are. It's there, and you can see that it's not just a mineral formation. This is a solid manufactured structure which looks very much like a wrecked ancient ship. How ancient it is? I don't think it's that ancient. It could be only 100 years old. There were probably people out there quite recently. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Clips coming up in a few seconds. Please give the thumbs up and share on social media if you can. And I will see you very soon.